A minister had just finished a revival in a huge Midwestern town. And as he boarded the train for his long journey home, he found him sitting beside a young man, and he tried to start a conversation about the first one thing or the other, about the weather, whatever. And he noticed he didn't get any reply from the young man. And he just looked over at him. The young man had his head down. He said, "Son, I'm a minister. I'm a preacher. If I can help you with anything, I'll be glad to." The young man looked up, and with tears in his eyes, he proceeded to tell this story. He said, "Preacher, I've lived a mighty wicked life." Said, "I've traveled all over this country. I've been into things that you wouldn't think of, preacher. Preacher, I got so mean when I was a young boy growing up. I went as far one day as to hit my own daddy with my fist. And preacher, my daddy come to me and said, 'Son, you're going to have to leave. Son, you're breaking your mama's heart.' And preacher, I've roamed this country from end to end. But about 2 weeks ago, I got in a revival meeting, and God saved my soul. And I wrote my mother a letter. And I said, 'Mom, I'll be on this old train. I'm a-coming home.' The preacher looked at him. He said, 'Son, that's all well and good. But son, how do you know that you'll be welcome home? How do you know your mom and daddy still live there?' He said, 'Preacher, we lived beside this old railroad tracks all my life.' He said, 'Out behind our little old house there's an apple tree. And I wrote my mother a letter, and I said, Mama, I know I broke yours and Daddy's heart so many times. But Mama, if I'd be welcome to come home, would you just put a rag up there in that old apple tree? And when this train comes by that apple tree, I'm a look, and if there's a flag out in the tree, Mama, I know I'd be welcome home.' And he said, 'Preacher, I want to go home so bad. But I brought a lot of grief to Mama and Daddy, and I just don't think they forgive me.' He said, 'Preacher, we're almost to the house. Preacher, would you mind looking for me? Find me a flag in that tree.' And the story goes that the preacher took his handkerchief and he walked to the window. And he wiped that window off where he could see that flag for that young man. The preacher looked and he looked. And as the train got close to the house, he saw that tree and he looked around and he said, Son, you hadn't got no worries.' He said, 'Well, that old apple tree's in full bloom.' Yeah. He said, 'There's rags from the top of that tree to the bottom of that tree.' Amen. He said, 'But son, that's not all.' He said, 'Underneath that tree there's an old mama, and there's an old gray-headed daddy, and they're out there waving a bed sheet out there. They're saying, Son, would you just come home? Son, come on home. We want you back.' And you know, that's just like God does. Yes. We've done God wrong lots of times. I've heard my daddy talk about the time when he was a little boy running through the house with no care at all. And as he run through the hall, he found my grandmother down on her knees praying for Shankles. There was a mama somewhere called out your name in prayer. This morning, if your mama's here, I'd love if you just go to her and put your arms around her and tell her that you love her today. My mom's in Scottsboro, but my mother prayed for me one time. This morning, let's stand, and I want you to honor your moms today because we had some praying mothers. Kids, if your mama's here, go to them, hug them up and tell them you love them and thank them for what they've done for you. Coming home.
Amen.